The following video will contain a spoiler-free review of the Marvel series Wonder Man. So, everyone, it is officially 2026, and Marvel Productions has officially come out with its first show of the year, that being Wonder Man, a 8-episode miniseries starring Yahya Abdul-Mateen II and Ben Kingsley. Before I go into the actual review portion of this video, I will be giving a quick summary of Wonder Man for anyone who has not seen the show yet. The plot follows Simon Williams, a struggling actor living in LA, who gets the opportunity of a lifetime when he discovers that auditions are being held for a remake of his favourite childhood film called Wonder Man. However, Simon has a secret, and that is the fact that he has superpowers which he struggles to maintain and control under stressful situations. Now, the first thing I have to say about Wonder Man is actually that I don't know a lot about the source material. I never really read the comics as a kid, or any other piece of media that he may have been in. I don't think he is as popular as a superhero compared to Iron Man or Captain America. I'm not sure, and there probably is tons of Wonder Man fans, but he was not someone that I really saw growing up. The only thing I can say that I know Wonder Man from is an animated series that I watched as a child, where I believe he became Vision after an accident or after dying. I cannot remember for certain. This show is also a very vague memory, and sometimes I look back and wonder if it was even real, because I watched it when I was quite sick. I had the flu and my dad got a DVD of it, so maybe my memory is a bit crossed. But all I remember is that it was an animated series and Wonder Man became Vision. Oh, and he was also friends with Hawkeye. They emphasized a lot on him and Hawkeye's relationship. I remember that too. So when I went into watching Wonder Man as a series, I went in mostly blind with very little information about the character. The first thing I can say about Wonder Man is that I think it is actually really good. I have a very complicated relationship with the MCU and Marvel in general. I grew up with a lot of superheroes and comics and cartoons, and they always have a special place in my heart. But I do think that the MCU as a whole has gotten quite bloated, and a lot of the stuff that is out right now and has been out for the past few years isn't very good. And I think the shows themselves are one of the biggest examples of the decline in production quality. But when it comes to Wonder Man, this feels like an outlier. As a show, Wonder Man feels a lot more smaller in scale. The characters aren't really fighting monsters, facing enemies, or dealing with the end of the world. Instead, what we see is one man's journey as an actor. Oftentimes when I was initially watching the show, I would actually forget that I was watching a Marvel series, and I do not mean that as an insult. Unlike a lot of other Marvel series, this show gets the time to breathe and pause and basically be a character study, as well as the show being a love letter to the art of acting itself. There's a lot of references about acting and methods some people go through to get into character. Speaking of acting, I do want to talk about the main character, Simon Williams, because that is his whole thing. He is an actor. And once again, I will say that I do not know a lot about Wonder Man or Simon Williams in his source material, but from what I saw in Wonder Man, I really like his character, and I found him incredibly endearing and someone that I sympathized with a lot. From the start, we are shown that Simon has a passion for acting. He loves it and he lives for it. However, his biggest issue is the fact that he is unable to be authentic in a role and basically improvise. He's constantly writing notes and asking camera crew or co-workers or the directors questions about his role, even making adjustments to the set because he believes that certain things would not apply to his character. This causes issues on set, and because of his lack of assurance in himself, he ends up self-sabotaging his career. I think many people can identify with Simon as a character, especially considering the fact that he struggles with his authenticity, which ties into the secret that he is hiding regarding his powers. When compared to other Marvel shows, Wonder Man has actually quite a small cast, mostly focusing on Simon and another character that I want to talk about now because he interests me quite a bit. Trevor Slattery is a supporting role and a fellow actor in the world of Wonder Man. There are some people who may recognise his name, and that is because he actually has a bit more of a history with the MCU. Trevor Slattery was actually the fake Mandarin in Iron Man 3. We didn't see his character again until much later in the film Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I never really had an opinion on Trevor as a character, and I don't think many people did either, but in the context of the MCU, he is actually very interesting. Imagine if someone like Thanos was revealed to be fake and an actor this entire time, and imagine if Thanos was just able to walk around and do normal things. There'd be a lot of consequences and people would be very worried and weary about him. And Trevor is exactly that. I think the show does a really good job at showing the consequences for his actions. Trevor himself is also a character that you can sympathise with. We learn a bit about his backstory through open dialogue that he has and references he makes from things that he did in the past. He's also quite funny. Most of the jokes that made me laugh were from his character. The characters of Trevor and Simon spend a lot of time together, and they are the main relationship that we follow throughout the show. They work great together. I really like their chemistry. I also really like the fact that they share such an intense passion for acting, and it's one of the things that they bond over very easily. In the show, you see Simon and Trevor doing a lot of mundane things, and I think that works to the benefit of the show. I don't think these characters were built to be in a lot of action, or in a situation where they're being thrown about. The show itself is mostly dialogue and character development. You get a lot of longer scenes where they're just talking. And I think that's completely fine. Marvel does not have to be extended action. I know with the superhero genre that kind of goes hand in hand, but you can mix things up. I do think WandaVision, or at least the start of it, was a very good example of this. Agatha all along expanded on it later, and now we're getting Wonder Man, which is slower paced and more focused on character development rather than action. I really enjoyed Wonder Man, and one day I would like to talk about the show more in detail. But this is currently a spoiler-free review, so for now I will leave you all off with this statement. I recommend Wonder Man. If you're looking for something that's a bit more character heavy, this is the show to watch. And with that, my name is Mello, and I hope you enjoyed the video.